gets that.
Hey everybody, what's going on today? Hope you're having a good Thursday. One more day till my birthday. Looking forward to it. Birthday on a Friday. How awesome is that? So anyways, if you have a moment later, you want to check out a cool little show, we're bringing back the Doe Show. Got my brother here to help me out as my sidekick. We're going to be doing some interesting things, covering just interesting financial news that may have come up that could affect your money, as well as Sad But True, our segment that we were really excited about, where basically I will read off two stories to him. If he guesses which one is sad but true, he wins. One story is completely false, one story is completely true. It's just a really bad story, or something sad about, you know, it could be stocks, CEOs, politics, things like that. Anything that might have to do with money. We'll talk about it in addition to some other stuff that we have planned for tonight as well. So we'll try to do that live on YouTube. If you have a moment, check it out. Otherwise, the podcast is The Doe Show. All right, let's take a look here. Don't forget this weekend, Saturday, if you have a moment, join us for our live budgeting class. We'll be doing that starting at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturday. If you're thinking about joining us here at Jazz, go to jazzwealth.com. You have both the performance of all of our portfolios as well as upcoming events that you can see what we do for our customers. But you're here today to see about the markets. So let's take a look at the markets, because on the screen you've got the Dow, which was higher by 92, mostly because of McDonald's, which we'll type in there. Come on. McDonald's was higher on the day by 4.25%. That was one of your leaders. ExxonMobil was probably also higher by about 1%. I would say most of this came from McDonald's today. Look at the size of that move. McDonald's basically said they're going to be laying off in their corporate offices. They're trying to save like $500 million by the end of next year. So I think that's a developing story if you're following along there. But otherwise, McDonald's higher today by 4.3% there. If we go over to the S&P, kind of a quiet day. You know, it was kind of flat basically. It lost 2 on the day. Not really a big story there. What happened, it was a tug of war between tech and oil stocks. We'll get to that in a second. But the tech stocks, or your Nasdaq, was down 54 points today. Not a big deal. It's had a great run. Take a look at that run. It's done really well recently. Tech itself has had about a 5% rally in the last month. So most people are cool with a little pullback. Not a real big deal there. In the Nasdaq, it was your FANG names. Facebook was one of the ones. So FANG stands for Facebook, Apple. You can kind of include Amazon in there as well. Netflix and Google, or Alphabet. So Facebook is the F in FANG. That was down about 2% today. Facebook announced that they have a bug, quote bug, that accidentally put a lot of their users, millions, they said, of their users' private information public. Change the private settings to public. So if you're hiding something from the missus, you may want to check your Facebook account and make sure whatever's private has been sent private. Anyway, stock was down 2% today. Other tech names were down on the day too. Netflix was the other leader in the FANG space, down about 2% as well. Not too much of a big deal. Just with the recent run that all of these have had, to see them pull back, I don't think is really that big of a deal. Google pulls back about 1% as well. So I don't really have much of a problem with that. If we go over to the S&P, now here's the deal. Today in the S&P, we had, like I said, this tug of war. We had the price of oil up 2% today. Oil, gosh, Venezuela, I worry about Brazil, Venezuela, and a couple others, but Brazil we'll get to in a second. Venezuela is basically a month behind delivering oil, and so, you know, you get the idea. You're a month behind delivering oil. Something's wrong. Production levels are not as high as they used to be over there, so that leads to higher prices in oil. Also, there was comments from OPEC that they would work on balancing the market rather than reducing their production caps. So they currently have a production cap. It's been talked about that they would reduce that. Really gave investors confidence today that they would not raise production, and they're going to meet next month. So that'll be the focus there. So with that in mind, you had like Apache. That's a stock name. I'm sorry, that's an oil stock name. Tends to grab a lot of attention. Anadarko Petroleum, APC up 3%. You got Halliburton up 1.5%. So a lot of the oil names were strong today. The problem was in the S&P 500, the tech side. Here you got Advanced Micro Devices down almost 5% on the day. That's a popular tech name. Lam Research, LRCX, down 5.5% on the day. So you got good oil, but you got weak tech, and that pulled the S&P basically to sort of a break even on the day. The financials didn't really help out much at all. They just had a small up day, so it really wasn't any focus there. Really, I'll tell you one that you want to look at, this Brazilian ETF. This is Brazil's market, EWZ. That thing cratered today, an absolute waterfall on the screen there. They look horrible, man. So they've got a lot of political issues going on over there. The EWZ is now down over 30% since hitting highs back here in January, that 47.85. From 47.85 down here to 32, 30% lower. Not looking good over there. Not a big fan of that. Otherwise, hey, did you remember going back? This was now a couple months old. JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway, and Amazon have teamed up together to tackle healthcare. They claim they're going to solve healthcare's problems. Well, today they were on TV, Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, to say they picked their CEO. They picked the person that's going to lead them higher. It was really a publicity stunt for them to just grab some attention back to that idea. I look forward to it. I think it's interesting. It certainly had me hooked, so we'll see what happens there. And then we've got my joking sort of thumbnail that you guys might have saw. Smuckers, man. Smuckers was lower by 5% today. That's my favorite jam. And here's the deal. Earnings missed. I mean, just not good. I don't know if you guys, like, if I'm the only one buying these things anymore. But their earnings missed. Not really good there. And also Canada responded with the tariffs, and they were going to tax the jams. And that includes Smuckers. With a name like Smuckers, right? You're going to get taxed. So Smuckers was down today by 5%, so I made that joke on the thumbnail. Hopefully didn't make anybody upset. You got Vail Resorts. Did you know that Vail Resorts, ski lodges, this is actually a public company. They own, I believe, last check, they own 5 different resorts around the country. They basically had good earnings, and they said their season passes were higher by 12% year over year. So most of you must have went skiing. So that stock was higher by 4.5% on the day. Huge, huge move over the last couple weeks there. Since breaking out, the stock is higher by almost 15%. So looking really good there. In other news, just coming out here, DocuSign. DocuSign is a recent IPO. You guys know what DocuSign is. They reported their earnings for the first time. The stock is down 10% right at the moment that we're talking here. So not looking good for DocuSign, at least for their first earnings report. At Home is down 2%. Not a big deal. What else do we have? Broadcom, AVGO, up 1% after earnings. If you follow Zoomies, the retailer there, up 10%. That just came out as well with their earnings. That's all I got. That's all I got. Anyways, what else do we have? Yeah, stay tuned for the Dose Show later. We're already setting up for that. That'll be a lot of fun if you have a moment. Otherwise, if you have questions, you need help with your retirement investments, anything that has to do with investing in the long term or the midterm or retirement, happy to help you with that. Check out our portfolios on our website. If I can do anything for you, if you need help, you want to open, transfer an account, whatever it may be, happy to help you out there. Click Chat with Jazz. I'll be the one to call you. We'll follow up with you and make sure you have all the questions answered that you need. Thinking about doing an open house soon too, where we just sort of set up shop, go live, and answer any questions that you guys might have that we could possibly cover. Also, if you notice on the back there, the Reese's is still sitting there. I want it so bad. I'm trying to get past my craving, but still doing it. Hanging in there. All right, you guys have a great day. We will talk to you later. And of course, if you need anything, you know where to find me. See you soon.